in Raleigh, North Carolina. Jordan, what's up?
Hey, I married my wife about a year ago. She is a full-time paramedic and is in PA school. Over the past few months, she's been taking unprescribed Xanax on and off.
Where's she getting it from?
What makes this... The first time I had some, I get like crazy anxiety from flying. So I have taken Xanax 3 times in my life for the past 3 flights I've been on. I had a couple in a sock drawer, basically. That was the first time she took them. And then the times after that, she found a drug dealer and has been going to him.
Okay.
What makes it a little bit... What's that?
Go ahead, man. I'll get on you later. Well, go ahead. I don't want to keep interrupting.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. What makes this a little more scary is that she struggled with heroin addiction in the past. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question is, how do I continue to love and support her at the same time, not start to build up resentment, and are boundaries an option?
So the first thing is to stop giving your former heroin addict wife drugs. That's number one.
I did not give them to her whatsoever.
Did she steal them from you?
Yeah, she took them from me. She did. They were not given to her. I would never in a million years do that, ever. I'm sorry if that's what it sounded like. So, I did not give them to her.
So when did she... How did that conversation go when you found out she had stolen your prescription medication?
So I didn't know because I don't... I pull them out when I go on flights, and I don't fly very often. So I never would have known. Honestly, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So she told me the very next day she took them. There were 3 in there, and she took all 3. We woke up the next morning, and first thing in the morning, she said, "Hey, there's something I got to tell you. Your Xanax, I took them, and I took them all, and, she apologized and everything."
Okay. So
that was the first, yeah.
So is she now getting these prescribed to her by a doctor?
No, she's finding them. She's calling a drug dealer and meeting with them to get them. Yeah.
So I was gonna be like, I have a psychiatric. I have a part of my will, which is a psychiatric power of attorney, meaning if I ever disassociate and I have to be institutionalized, what do I want them to do to me while I'm there? What do I not want them to do while I'm there? Mm-hmm. And the addictive properties of Xanax and other benzodiazepines is so bad. I have in my psychiatric power of attorney that if I'm institutionalized, they are not allowed to give me that drug.
Wow.
That's how much I hate that drug.
Yeah.
And it should never be given as a one-off, right? As a tic-tac, as a feel-good, right?
Yeah.
And so I got a problem with whatever doctor gave them to you that way, right? And the second is, if you've got an active addict in the home, having prescription medications that's not wise. The second thing is, she is a paramedic, dude. Other people's lives count on her being fully present and not high. And so this is a marriage issue, obviously, 1 year in. This is an addiction issue 1 year in. And this is also a professional ethics issue. She's going to kill somebody, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Now, I do know for a fact she's not taking these on the job.
Hey, listen, brother. Listen. I know, but you know too. Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the business of running your wife down. Okay. I'm trying to get you to realize how serious this is. Okay.
Right.
And I know you know that it's serious, but so at the end of the day, if your wife has a heroin addiction in her past, and she is back to, I'm as concerned about the actual narcotic as I am about the behavior. The sneaking, the off script, the lying, the then circling back, and I'm sorry it won't happen again, and then I'm going to a dealer now. All the while, I'm in a really, really high stress, emotionally high strung job. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and get a graduate degree too on top of that.
Right.
I know that's probably why you called, but brother, that is a recipe for a train wreck, right?
Right. Yeah.
So when you sit down and have this hard conversation with her, how does it go? What does she say?
Well, we didn't have the hard conversation up until a couple days ago.
Okay.
Because after this has happened on and off for about 3 months, and in between those 3 months, it's only happened about where she has come to me to tell me that she's taken a Xanax. It's only happened just a handful of times.
So I will guarantee you take that number and double it, right?
Yeah,
if not triple it.
You're right. But the way we handle it from there is thank you. First off, thank you for telling me.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going through a lot. Like what's kind of leading to this? Where are you at mentally, or emotionally when you take one, and can we find ways to fill that hole another way? She likes fitness, and she likes to journal and read. So just trying to find ways to cope other than Xanax, because I know her job is ridiculous.
Right.
So this last time we had a fight, and it kind of was me getting to a point of like, okay, I've said sorry, I've gotten over it and pressed on, and now in a selfish way, I guess, now I want some answers.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's super fair.
Yeah. Basically the conversation was, let's basically what show me what you're doing, tell me what you're doing, to fill this hole. Let's come up with I guess it doesn't sound any different than it's always been, but
right, exactly. And hey, here's what's going to happen.
I called you.
Yeah. No, and man, I'm grateful for you, and I know that you are trying to love your wife the best way you know how. Okay, so I'm not drinking the haterade on that one at all. I know you're trying to love her the best you can. What's going to end up happening is that constricting pressure, those old demons that are coming out, that surfaced with whatever trauma led to the heroin addiction, right? And the things that happened before that. And I bet you and I could talk for a long time about her heroin history, right? And her pre-heroin history,
yes,
right? Am I fair? Am I right on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So she comes here, whatever stressors are going on in her life, and those demons start calling. The tendency that you're going to have is compassion first, hey, what's going on? How can we help? Hey, there's just some other things we can do. And really quick, you are going to get lumped into the box of stressors. You are going to become part of the problem, because you're going to be something that she has to work around, because you are holding her accountable. You want to see these behaviors. You want to see these things change, the same as the paramedic job, the same as the grad school homework, and a partridge in a pear tree. And pretty soon she's already practicing deceiving you, right? And pretty soon that's just going to, if it's not already, that's just going to be common. That's just going to be a routine in your home. And so I don't want to sound any alarms unnecessarily, but this relationship's on real shaky ground. And I'm worried about the health and heart of your wife. Okay. Is she working with a professional at all, with a counselor? How did she kick her heroin habit?
Rehab.
Okay.
And then she did some NA. She's done that a couple times. She's been to rehab a couple times in the past, and she kicked heroin before we met. Was sober for a long time, then left the program, and just would do a glass of wine every other day or something. Maybe it kind of empowered her in a way that she was like, wow, I used to not be able to even finish up. Like I used to finish
I'm healed, right? Yeah, I'm all good now. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then it's just kind of led to where we are now. So, but to answer your question, she does have a therapist. She meets over Zoom with maybe once a month.
So here's your next move, and
okay.
I'm telling you this is what I would do if I was in the same situation with the woman I love, the woman that I really want to be well, and I see her on a path to destruction, right? I would tell her that I would do this while I'm holding her hands, right? So she feels you. I would let her know that you are real. You're terrified. That's the best word I can tell you, that you're terrified and you're scared for her and about her, and she's going to try to make you feel better. She's going to go into paramedic mode. She's good at that. That's what she does. She goes into people's hardest moments and brings the noise level down and helps them there. And then I want you to ask her for permission to join her in her next session, her next counseling session, because you are worried about the Xanax and the sneaky behavior and the hiding behavior. And here's what you can do in a beautiful, vulnerable way that is also truthful and honoring to her. You can tell her that you are struggling with hearing her stories as true, that you are having concerns and doubts and fears. So you're not going to call her a liar, but you're going to let her know, hey, I'm starting to struggle with these doubts, and we're a year in. I don't want our relationship to get any more cracks in the foundation than it needs to. I want to join you with your counselor. I want to let your counselor know what's going on. I want us to be on the same page together. I'm not helping you by giving you a bunch of new rules and a bunch of new behaviors that you've got to start showing me. I'm not helping, but I don't have the tools to do this on my own. I want to join you. And that's when you are going to ask, if she lets you do this, then you're going to talk openly and candidly with the counselor. And the counselor is going to give you some very real and direct strategies and tools. And if the counselor doesn't and says something dumb like, well, what do you think? Then I want you to find another counselor or find a marriage counselor on Zoom, and then you both are going to go do that. You're going to be vulnerable here on two different counts. Number one, you're going to ask her for something that you need, and she might tell you no. And if she says, you cannot join my counseling session, I refuse, then every alarm bell you have should go off about the status and safety of your relationship. And the second thing is, man, she's been through the ringer before, and she understands the trajectory she's on cognitively. It's just that spiritual part, that addiction demon, man, is mean, right? Yeah. Gnarly. And hopefully your counselor, y'all's counselor, her counselor, will walk you through a series of really hard boundaries that you're going to hold hard, and is going to give you some tools on how to hold your wife with a lot of grace, okay? So I don't want to, again, be an alarmist. Your situation is real rough right now, brother. And your wife's situation is rough and scary. And she's headed not in a good direction. And again, if you're listening to this and you're like, dude, she took 3 Xanax, chill out. She got like 10 Xanax from some dude at work. What is your problem? When you have a history of addiction, when you are in a helping profession, on top of a graduate school, a challenging graduate school program at that, man, those demons come calling. And it starts with 1, and it starts with 2 and 3, and then it starts with I'm just going to steal these from my husband, and I'll tell him about it later and see how I'm going to test the water there. Oh, he was kind of cool. He forgave me. Cool. I'm going to have another one. I'm going to tell him about this one, but I'm only going to tell him about every 5th one. And now we're setting up new rhythms to our day. We are lying as a regular part of life. And the stress never gets dealt with. The pain never gets dealt with. The connection starts to fracture and fissure with the dishonesty. And suddenly, man, you are full-blown over your head again. The only way through addiction is through connection with other people. And that's what makes addiction so evil, is there's so many barriers to keep you from having to connect, and it just loops on itself. And so, hey, Jordan, I want you to have that hard conversation with her. I want you to ask if you can join her and speak openly with her counselor on her behalf, on your behalf. And then I want you to call me back and let me know how that goes. And I'm happy to receive a call from her if she wants to call me. If she says I'm full of crap, tell her to give me a shout. Or if she's getting scared, tell her to give me a shout. And if you want to call me back, I'd love to talk to you too. Thank you for that call. These are hard times, man. If you've got somebody in your life that has struggled with addiction in the past, man, be smart and open and intelligent. And those are all 3 different things. Be smart and intelligent about having prescription medication in the house. Be really weary of benzos, man. Talk hard with your doctor and your psychiatrist. There was a season where they were just passing those suckers out like Tic Tacs, and they've reined them in the last couple of years just because they're so stinking addictive. but they're just passed out like bubble gums in certain pockets still. I stay away from those with every ounce of my being, and those are tough. Whew, man. Brother Jordan, my heart's out for you, man.